Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Good afternoon. Welcome to koolNews at 4 p.m. I am Ashley, and I'm going to get into the first round of headlines as Senator Robin Padilla has laughed off the Philippine National Police pronouncement that they are looking at whether or not former President Rodrigo Duterte may not be held liable for obstruction of justice after claiming that he knows but won't disclose fugitive televangelist Apollo Kibuloy's whereabouts. That's funny, Padilla told reporters in Filipino in an unabashed interview on Thursday after being asked to comment on PNP's statement. I also studied criminology, that's a bit. I think that's too much. If he talked like that, we're not even sure if he's joking or he's serious, he added. According to Padilla, an ally of the Duterte family, the PNP can ask the former president to release a statement on the issue, considering the possibility that Duterte is only joking about knowing Kibuloy's location. Kibuloy is facing child molestation, sexual abuse, and qualified human trafficking cases. The Davao and Pasig courts have ordered his arrest. The Supreme Court granted the Department of Justice bid to transfer Kibuloy's sexual abuse case from a court in Davao to Quezon City to avoid a miscarriage of justice. Apart from these, the Senate panel on women headed by Senator Risa Hontiveros is seeking Kibuloy's arrest. The latest arrest attempt against Kibuloy was conducted on June 10. Duterte lambasted what he called an excessive and unnecessary force implemented by the police in serving arrest warrants against Kibuloy. Duterte also criticized the Marcos administration, asking how the constitutional rights of Filipinos would be upheld if the most fundamental of these rights are being trampled upon and blatantly violated. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said there was significant progress in the government's fight against insurgency in Samar province. According to Marcos, 5 Samar municipalities, which he did not identify, have been declared to have stable internal peace and security status. Marcos said in a speech during a distribution of assistance to farmers and fisherfolks in Calbayog City on Thursday, Samar continues to face the challenge of insurgency, which is one of the obstacles to the continued development of your province. Anyway, we have come a long way, he added. Marcos said 186 community support programs have already been established in Samar, which helped 63 rebels to date. He urged Samar residents to support government measures to ensure peace and prosperity in the province. Thursday's Marco-led 8 distribution event saw the granting of 50 million peso cash assistance to the provincial government, 19.3 million pesos to Eastern Samar, and 25.9 million pesos to Northern Samar. The Department of Social Welfare and Development also gave 10,000 pesos each to its 8,930 beneficiaries in Samar, while the House of the Speaker of the House of Representatives delivered 10 kilos of rice to each attendee in the distribution event. Senator Sonny Angara, who is anticipated to take the helm of the Department of Education soon, is foreseen to boost government assistance to teachers and poor but deserving students. The Private Education Assistance Committee, a 5-member panel headed by the Deputy Secretary, said they are optimistic about the expansion of initiatives for teachers and students under Angara's leadership. PAAC is constituted to serve as trustees of the Fund for Assistance to Private Education, a permanent and irrevocable trust fund. PAAC's Executive Director, Doris Fernandez Ferrer, said they are eager to collaborate closely with Angara to further the mission of the panel for an inclusive, equitable, and superior educational system. PAAC believed that with Angara at the helm of DepEd, they would be able to help more students through the expansion of their programs, which aim to make private education more accessible. We are committed to sustaining our mission of elevating classroom shortages and student overflow in public schools by providing financial support to Filipino learners in private high schools through the government assistance and subsidies programs, Ferrer said in a statement Thursday. Among the programs of PEAC are the Education Service Contracting and School Voucher programs, which give financial assistance to students transitioning from elementary to junior high and senior high school, respectively. It also implements the Teacher Salary Subsidy, which offers annual subsidies to qualified teachers in ESC participating schools, and the In-Service Training Program, which enhances teacher competencies through targeted training. According to Ferrer, Angara's new role as Education Secretary marks an era of renewed commitment and strategic initiatives for education in our nation. Senator Angara's distinguished record of policy reforms underscores his unwavering dedication to advancing education. His tireless advocacy for increased budget allocations, enhanced teacher training programs, and substantial infrastructure development has addressed critical gaps and elevated the standard of education, she explained. His proactive measures during the COVID-19 pandemic exemplified his commitment to elevate the quality education for every Filipino student, she added. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. named Angara as the next step at chief of his administration after Vice President Sara Duterte resigned from her cabinet post. Duterte quit in June, and Angara is expected to replace her as head of DepEd starting July 19. The DepEd community welcomed Angara's designation and said in a statement that they look forward to working with the new leadership as we continue our relentless pursuit towards improving the quality of basic education in the country. Government debt rose to 15.25 trillion pesos as of end May, mainly due to the weakening of the local currency against the greenback, the Bureau of the Treasury said on Thursday. The BTR showed that total state obligations increased by 330.39 billion pesos in May, up by 2.2% from the previous month. Compared with a year ago, the debt load went up by 8.4% or an additional 1.193 trillion pesos debt in May. The BTR attributed the higher debt to the impact of local currency depreciation on the valuation of foreign currency denominated debt, of which the peso weakened by 94 centavos to 58.52 pesos as of end May from 57.58 pesos seen in April. Since the beginning of the year, total liabilities have accumulated by 731.33 billion pesos or 5%. Beginning this August, travelers will finally have the option to fly directly to Pantayan in northern Cebu. The Cebu Provisional Government recently announced that regular flights between the mainland and Pantayan Island via Mactan Cebu International Airport will resume operations this August 28. According to the Capitol, the direct flights will be operated by King Ace Travel and Tour Service Incorporated, a travel and tourist firm. They will be utilizing two ATR aircrafts, which are twin-engine turboprops, each with a capacity to transport up to 70 passengers. These are the same planes being used by other airline companies for short-haul flights, particularly those that connect Cebu and nearby tourist destinations such as Surigao and Camiguin Islands. The Cebu to Pantayan flights would fly twice a week, every Friday and Saturday, the Capitol added. KATTSI or CATTC is the travel and leisure subsidiary of the cooperative composed of active, retired, and civilian members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. It can be recalled that before the COVID-19 pandemic, there were direct flights connecting mainland Cebu and Pantayan Island in the north, but these flights were mostly chartered ones. In turn, the Capitol Department of Transportation and the Mactan to Cebu International Airport Authority, the state body co-running MCIA, decided to upgrade the airport in Pantayan to accommodate passenger aircrafts like the ATR. These included putting up a passenger terminal and extending its runway from 1.2 to 1.5 kilometers. Traveling to Pantayan Island, one of the most popular tourist destinations here, usually involves a 5-hour trip via land and sea. Air travel, on the other hand, cuts travel time between the two destinations from 5 hours to around 20 to 35 minutes. The Maccabean coalition aims to fill a complete slate of 12 senator candidates in the 2025 elections. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro and Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Rosas shared this in a press briefing on Thursday, adding that the coalition wants to tap representatives from the marginalized sectors. Castro announced her intention to run for senator in 2025 last June 26. We will field a slate. The number of candidates will increase. It's not only me. We will field as called, Arlene said earlier, representatives of each sector, including the marginalized sector, farmers, fisherfolk, indigenous people, urban poor, women, and professionals, she said in Filipino. While we are open to more candidates, our target is to complete a 12-man slate, but we're open to other candidates joining us or us endorsing, such things are being talked about at the level of the Maccabean coalition, she added. Castro also bared that the Maccabean coalition has been talking with like-minded parties, including Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman's Liberal Party for a possible alliance. Us to talks with other opposition groups that's currently ongoing, and we are intently studying that. Of course, our allies should have the same principles as us. We do not forge alliance just because we want to win an election, she said. So our alliance with other sectors and parties are on the basis of principle. We are talking to everyone. Of course, Liberal Party is part of that because we have a similar stand on several issues, she added. Rosas said the Maccabean also aims to provide the people with candidates who do not belong to the camp of either President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. or Vice President Sara Duterte. We are looking forward to a true opposition. That's what we lack right now. Our choices are only Marcos or Duterte. That's not the Maccabean wants. We are looking for a true opposition. That's why we are open to talking with true opposition groups, those that we know will stand for our people and for changing the society, she said. So this 2025 elections is really crucial for the Maccabean, and we are expecting that the number of candidates will increase since we need voices from peasant groups, the oppressed sector, those from the workers groups, she added. Several political groups have started forging partnerships for the 2025 elections, with Marcos Partido Federal ng Pilipinas signing alliance agreements with House of Representatives Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Lakas CMD, and the Nationalist People's Coalition. Last Tuesday, Surigao del Norte 2nd District Representative Robert A. Sparber said the Nacionalista Party, which he belongs to, will also enter into an alliance with the PFP. Last June 25, Vice President Duterte said her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, and her two brothers, Davao City 1st District Representative Apollo Duterte and Davao City Mayor Sebastian Duterte, will all run for senator in 2025. Dutertes have been critical of Marcos over several issues like the removal of confidential funds requested by the Vice President, President Marcos' alliance with the United States, and moves to amend the 1987 Constitution. A Department of Peace should be created to carry on the gains made after the forging of peace deals with rebel groups, according to Presidential Peace Advisor Carlito Galvez Jr. Galvez, chief of the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, said his proposed department will replace the agency he currently heads. We saw the best practices of our countries. They really have ministries or departments of peace, Galvez said in a press briefing on Wednesday. Turning OPAPRU into the Department of Peace will bring about the effective implementation of government policies, the official said. Galvez follows a similar suggestion of another cabinet member to rebrand a government agency. On Tuesday, Health Secretary Deodoro Herbosa proposed that his office be renamed Department of Health and Wellness. But Galvez's proposal goes beyond the change of name. The move to transform OPAPRU into a department with a new name also aims to address the security of tenure and career advancement of its personnel, he said. Under the agency's current setup, Galvez explained that the majority of OPAPRU personnel hold contractual positions only. It shall contribute to the promotion of peace that is not merely a fleeting priority or an ad hoc approach, but rather a sustained and consistent effort of the government, Galvez said. Formerly known as the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process, The OPA-P rule was officially launched by virtue of Executive Order 158 signed by former President Rodrigo Duterte in December 2021. OPA-P rule is in charge of handling peace talks and negotiations related to the Marxist insurgency and Islamic revolution in the country. Last year, Marxist political arm National Democratic Front of the Philippines began its negotiation with the government to come up with a framework to restart the peace talks led by OPA-P rule. OPA-P rule also played a crucial role in the passage and ratification of the Bangsamoro Organic Law that was sealed after the peace deal with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. BOL gave birth to the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, which gave its inhabitants more autonomy and representations. The decommissioning process of the MELF is also ongoing and is targeted to be finished by the end of 2025. And Senator Nancy Binay said on Thursday that she was considering filing a complaint against Senator Alan Peter Catiano at the Chamber's Ethics Committee over his behavior during the inquiry into the new Senate building. Catiano, who heads the Senate panel on accounts, accused Binay of disrupting Wednesday's hearing on the allegedly ballooning cost of the new Senate building. The two senators traded barbs over the supposed cost of the new building, with Catiano insisting that the building's cost will total a whopping 23 billion pesos. The heated exchange resulted in name-calling, personal attacks, and accusations, including claims that Binay is providing questions to media personnel to discredit her fellow senators. Catiano even reminded Binay that her first name is Lourdes, not Martides, a term widely used in the Philippines to describe gossip mongers. Binay walked out of the hearing after she convinced the Department of Public Works and Highways to admit that the new Senate building would cost only 41 billion pesos. Maybe I might have to talk with my staff if there is a need to file a complaint at the ethics panel, she said in Filipino. I don't know if he's heading the ethics committee now, because I used to head it before. I don't know if it was given to him. I will look first at who is now the chair, she added. Senator Francis Tolentino heads the Chamber's ethics panel. He led the Senate panel on accounts hearing early, unable to witness the barbs between Binay and Catiano. In a message to reporters on Thursday, Tolentino said the incident could have been prevented had he not left the hearing early. My regret is that I left the hearing early. It's just that there are many visitors who came all the way from Baguio and I had to receive them yesterday. It wouldn't have happened, said Tolentino in a mix of English and Filipino. The issues on the new building erupted after Senate President Francis Escudero ordered a review of its costs. This was after Catiano informed him about an apparent dramatic increase in the building's construction fee from an initial budget of 8 billion pesos to a projected 23.3 billion pesos. koolNews at 4 p.m. will return. After these messages, it is now 18 minutes past 4. Welcome back. This 25 minutes past 4, and now let's continue with the headlines. The issuance of these new advisories against unauthorized skin lightening products we hope will herald an all-out campaign led by the FDA and supported by national and local government agencies, the media, civil society, and the citizenry to put a stop to the unlawful trade of dangerous cosmetics with mercury in both physical and online stores. Eco-Waste Coalition National Coordinator Ilan Lucero said in a statement. Lucero likewise enjoined online shopping platforms and consumers not to patronize products that violate FDA standards. We appeal to online shopping platforms to immediately take down all listings for these violated cosmetics. It's time for e-commerce to go mercury-free. Also, we urge online shoppers to heed the advice of the FDA for the sake of their health and wellness, she added. The group's statement came after the FDA released separate advisories on Wednesday, cautioning the public against then beauty products containing toxic substance. The FDA clarified that the 10 beauty products containing heavy metals, which were the subject of the recent advisories, had also gone through its notification processes, underscoring the agency's commitment to regulating the beauty and cosmetic industry. As election fever hit, sorry, oh yeah, there you go. As election fever hits up barely 3 months before the filing of certificates of candidacy, Southern Cotabato Governor Reynaldo Tamayo denies coercing Bangsamoro mayors to vote for the official party of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, the former rebel group that signed a peace deal with the government. Tamayo, president of Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, found himself in the eye of a storm after Mayor Roida Maclanggit of Kapatakan, Lano del Sur, spoke in the gathering of the Bangsamoro Grand Coalition leaders in Tawi-Tawi on Saturday, and later in Maluso, Balisan on Sunday, saying that mayors who joined the June 24 gathering in Madalang had been coerced to support the United Bangsamoro Justice Party in the upcoming elections, and that those who failed to do so were threatened with a financial audit. I didn't say that. I was misinterpreted, Tamayo said in a radio interview here. What I said was that the Marcos administration wanted the practice of good governance to serve as a model for other local government units and make the Barnam or Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao a model for the proposed federal form of government, added Tamayo, president of the League of Provinces in the Philippines. Of the Philippines. I told them mayors, if they have good governance, we will take a peek so that it can be replicated in other parts of the country, Tamayo said. When I said take a peek, they concluded it was a COA audit, he added. However, according to a statement from the BGC, the mayors present in the Mantalang meeting belied Tamayo's statement. We were told to support UBJP in the coming elections, and if we don't, our towns will be audited by the Commission on Audit, Manlanggit said, naming Tamayo, president of PAP, to have said it during the gathering of Bangsamoro mayors in Madalang on June 24. Why do you dip your fingers in Barnum local politics? Are you from Barnum? Manlanggit said in her speech on Saturday, rebuking Tamayo. In Maluso town of Silang province the next day, Sunday, former Sultan Kudarat Governor Suharto Magdadatu, the Technical Education and Skills Development ESDA secretary and leader of the Al-Ittihad Party, indicted Tamayo for bullying the mayors. We're neighbors. We are bullying the neighbors. That's not good. Mandugad Dadu said in a chance interview after the grand launching of the BGC and Maluso Gymnasium. He called Tamayo Tay Manok, vernacular for chicken manure, for offending and harassing quote-unquote the mayors. Actually, I was not bullied. But I was coerced and harassed online when I said I was pressured by Governor Tamayo, Mang Langit said. She said she was still holding herself back from speaking in the open. I'll speak up later, but I want to make it clear that Tamayo has no right to speak for the Barnum people. I question why he is so much invested in Barnum and that we have the right of suffrage and the people have the right to choose who will lead them, she added. While Sila Representative Mujib Hataman said leadership in the Barnum must be inclusive and that people should refrain from harassing local leaders who did not want to support bets endorsed by UBJP and MOF leaders. The BGC released a statement on June 30 calling for truth and accountability on the reported corruption of Barnum mayors to vote for UBJP. The BGC calls for the truth to come out. It calls on those who subvert the truth to be accountable, along with those who would go against the principles of fair, transparent, and peaceful elections, principles that have been exposed by the national leadership. Foremost among them, President Ferdinand Marcos Declaration said in the statement. The BGC reiterates its June 25 statement, thanking and lauding the President for his strong, consistent, and clear policy towards peaceful, accountable, and transparent elections in the Barnum. We shall not be deterred by persons or groups who promote positions that are contrary to the President's policies and pronouncements, this statement said. BGC will not waver and will continue to support the President's agenda for sustainable peace and security in the Barnum. The Department of Agriculture will launch tomorrow, July 5, the large-scale trial of a program aimed at selling rice for 29 pesos a kilo to vulnerable households in select Katiwao centers. In the briefing on Thursday, Agriculture's Assistant Secretary Genevieve Bilicara Guerrava said the program dubbed Program 29 or P29 will be unveiled in 10 Katiwa centers in Metro Manila and Bulacan Province. Identified Katiwa sites are located in the following: Bureau of Animal Industry and National Irrigation Administration in Quezon City, Bureau of Plant Industry in Manila, Food Terminal Incorporated in Taguig City, Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority in Las Piñas, Caloocan City, Valenzuela City, Barangay Fortune, and BF City in Marikina City, and San Jose del Monte City in Bulacan. Discounted rice will be sold to about 6.9 million vulnerable households, representing about 35 million Filipinos. These include senior citizens, single parents, persons with disabilities, and beneficiaries of the of the government's Pamilyang Pilipino program for peace. The large-scale trial aims to gather comprehensive data on supply, demand, and logistics essential for the smooth nationwide rollout of the program, Bilicaria Guevara said. Eligible beneficiaries will be allowed to sell 10 kilograms of rice per household per month. They will be required to present identification cards as well as bring reusable containers or bags to minimize plastic usage. During the implementation period, booklets will be provided to monitor purchases. The DA estimated that full implementation of this initiative will require approximately 69,000 metric tons of rice. This will come from various sources including the National Food Authority, the National Irrigation Administration's Rice Contract Growing Project, and potential imports managed by DA-affiliated entities. The DA expects the number of participating Katiwa centers to double by August and intends to expand the program to urban centers nationwide with the support of local government units. The middleman who met with Mutya ng Pilipinas Pambanca 2024 candidate Geneva Lopez and her Israeli boyfriend Itzhak Cohen before they allegedly disappeared last July 1 is one of the persons of interest in the case. This information comes from the Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. DIDG Chief Major General Leo Francisco is looking into some person of interest, including the middleman who was later discovered as a former police officer and who previously served at the Angala City Police Station. Francisco said in an interview over DCWB, when we spoke with the CIDG Tarlac head, he said we have 7% of interest, including the ex-policeman who talked with the missing couple. The one they had a transition with, the middleman, is willing to speak, and he has already given his statement. He narrated in the investigation that he talked with this couple, and then he and the couple went on separate ways up to the state visit, he noted. But Tarlac Police Provincial Office Public Information Office Chief Captain Erica Evangelistas said they are not yet considering the middleman as among the person of interest. Evangelista is part of the Special Investigation Task Group formed to solve the case. Evangelista told Inquirer.net in the phone interview, "We do not consider him among the persons of interest. So he is possibly involved because he came to Capas City Police Station. He gave a statement together with his counsel. If it's like that, he is only possibly involved, but as a person of interest, it has not reached that point," she noted. And there is exact number yet on the POIs. The SIDG Genus SAC was launched just yesterday. It is still too early, she added. Based on police reports, Lopez and Cohen met the middleman in Tarlac to check a 20.5 hectare agricultural land they intended to buy. They were last seen around 2 p.m. on June 21. Their gray Nissan Terra sports two-day vehicle SUV was found burning along the Capasanjo Road in History Village at 2:36 a.m. on June 22. Capas Police Chief LT Colonel Librado Maranang Jr. revealed that police had examined what seemed like a burned cell phone or tablet found inside the SUV. He, however, said the mobile gadget, a cell phone, was brought to the Regional Anti-Cybercrime Office in Camp Olivas in San Fernando, Pampanga for forensic investigation. But data could no longer be retrieved from the gadget because it was completely burned. Aside from this, the Capas Police Chief said the CID chief operatives found an abandoned car along Paragatiba, Tarlac City on Sunday night, June 30. Two minority councillors declined their newly nominated committee posts, while majority members followed their respective seats during the reorganizational session of the Cebu City Council. City councillors Mary Ann De Los Santos and Jose Orenzo Abelanosa rejected their committee nominations on July 3. The session saw members to various committees, with some positions remaining unchanged and new chairpersons appointed during the 16th Sangguniang Panglupsud's annual organizational session. De Los Santos declined membership in the Committee on Youth and Sports Development, citing her lack of involvement in previous consultations or meetings. Her decision to avoid being a do-nothing member led to her replacement by Councilor Jerry Guardo. Meanwhile, Abelanosa cited personal reasons for declining his nomination to the Committee on Labor, Employment, Cooperative, and Livelihood and was replaced by Councilor Rhea Memjacosalam. In leadership roles, City Councilor Jolene Pascura retained her position as Majority Floor Leader, supported by City Councilor James Tony Kosenko as Assistant Majority Floor Leader and City Councilor Philip Fasra as Second Assistant Majority Floor Leader. City Councilor Nestor Archival Sr. continued as Minority Floor Leader, with City Councilor Joan Augustus Young serving as Assistant Minority Floor Leader. Despite these changes, many committees saw no authorizations in their leadership. The Budget and Finance will continue to be led by Chairman No Eligutio G. Wansalo and Vice Chairman Rosalind G. Pascura. Similarly, the Committee on Social Services retains Chairman Pancraso L. R.I. Esparis and Vice Chairman Elgardo and La Bella II, while the Committee on Youth and Sports Development remains under Chairman Rhea Mepi Jocoslam and Vice Chairman Donald O. C. Hontiveros. The Committee on Public Service, the Committee on Labor, the Employment, Cooperative, and Livelihood, and several other committees also saw no changes to their leadership. However, there were reshufflings in 5 committees. The Committee on Laws, Ordinance, and Styling has Jocelyn Pescura as vice chairman, replacing the now acting mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia. The Committee on Housing is now chaired by Renato Osmana Jr., who also took over from Garcia. Donald O. C. Hontiveros is the new chairman of the Committee on Tourism, Arts, and Culture, previously led by Pescura. The Committee on Sister Cities Relations and Big Brother Program saw a swap, with James Attorney R. Q and Co. becoming chairman and Pescura taking the vice chairman position. Lastly, the Committee on Animal Welfare is now chaired by Philip S. Zafra, with Hontiveros as vice chairman, reversing their previous roles. Garcia and Hontiveros currently cannot hold committee positions because they are serving as acting mayor and acting vice mayor, respectively. According to the law, the acting mayor and acting vice mayor are prohibited from holding committee positions to maintain a clear separation of powers within the local government. Coming up, Germany blocks sale of gas turbine firm to China company. World's oldest artwork has been discovered in Indonesian cave. And Taiwan says China Coast Guard harasses fishing boat. That's next on koolNews at 4 p.m.
Hanapin ang check ng right med.
If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
It is 48 minutes past 4 and welcome back to koolNews. The German government on Wednesday blocked the sale of a gas turbine unit belonging to a subsidiary of Volkswagen Group to a Chinese investor over security concerns. Volkswagen's Man Energy Solutions had been due to sell the unit to Chinese group GHGT and its subsidiary Guangdong Gas Turbine, but Chancellor Olaf Scholz's cabinet had today prohibited the move, said the economic ministry. Germany has rules in place in allowing the government to review or block foreign purchases of stakes as low as 10% in critical technology as well as critical infrastructure companies. The ministry added that it could not provide further details given security concerns as well as the company's operational secrets. According to Business Daily, Angelsblatt, the Chinese company is believed to have close links to the Chinese armaments industry, and experts have warned that it could use the gas turbine technology for military purposes, including warships, drones, or fighter jets. Fears have been growing in Germany about an reliance on Beijing and letting critical infrastructure fall into the subsequent dwindling of gas supplies has further accentuated their concerns. And now, for the interesting part, it may not look like much, just a flocking image of three people around a big red pig. But a humble cape discovered in Indonesia is the oldest known narrative artwork ever made by human hands, dating back more than 51,000 years, new research said on Wednesday. This is the oldest evidence of storytelling. Maxime Albert, an archaeologist at Australia's Griffith University, told AFP. Albert was part of the team that identified the previous record holder in 2019, a hunting scene found in a nearby Indonesian cave, then estimated to be nearly 44,000 years old. The latest discovery, which was dated using a new laser technique, marks the first time we have passed the 50,000 year barrier, said Albert, a co-author of a new study in Nature discovering the find. That early humans were able to tell such a sophisticated story through art could rewrite our understanding of human cognitive revolution, he added. Our discovery suggests that storytelling was a much older part of human history than previously thought, study co-author archaeologist Adam Brum told a press conference. For the discovery, the researchers used a new method that uses layers and computer software to create upmaps of rock samples. This laser ablation technique is more precise, easier, quicker, cheaper, and requires much smaller rock samples than the previous series method, Albert said. The team first tested the new unit on the previous record holder. It determined that the hunting scene was actually at least 48,000 years old, 4,000 years older than the series method determined in 2019. The team then tried the laser method out on a previously undated painting first spotted in the cave on Indonesia's Sulawesi Island in 2017. It was found to be at least 51,200 years old, smashing the previous record. The painting, which is in poor condition, shows three people around a wild pig. We don't know exactly what they're doing, Albert admitted. He speculated that the paintings were likely made by the first group of humans who moved through Southeast Asia before arriving in Australia around 65,000 years ago. It's probably just a matter of time before we find samples that are older, Alubert added. Humans first evolved in Africa more than 300,000 years ago. The first images known to have been made by humans are simple lines and patterns made in oak red found in South Africa dating back 100,000 years. But then there is a huge gap in human arc until the Indonesian cave paintings 50,000 years later, Alubert said. The question is, why is it not everywhere? One territory is that artwork also did not survive all those millennia. Another is that another is that ancient art could still be out there waiting to be discovered. Previously, the first narrative art was thought to have emerged in Europe. A lion man statue found in Germany has been dated to around 40,000 years ago. The date given for the Indonesian cave art is quite provocative because it is so much older than what has been found elsewhere, including in Europe, said Chris Springer, an anthropologist or archaeologist at London's Natural History Museum. Stringer, who was not involved in the research, said the experienced team's findings looked sound, but needed to be confirmed by further dating. In my view, this find reinforces the idea that residential art was first produced in Africa before 50,000 years ago, and the concept spread as our species spread, he told AFP. If that is true, much new supporting evidence from other areas, including Africa, has yet to emerge. And Taiwan accused China on Thursday of harassing one of its fishing boats in waters near the Bangku Islands a day after Beijing seized a Taiwanese vessel over alleged illegal fishing. The Taiwanese Coast Guard said it dispatched 3 patrol ships late Wednesday after receiving a call from a fishing boat that was interfered with and approached by an unspecified number of Chinese Coast Guard vessels. The incident occurred 60 nautical miles or 111 kilometers northwest of Banghu, an archipelago in the Taiwan Strait and outside of Taiwan's restricted waters, the Coast Guard said. The boat later reported it had left the area and was not pursued by Chinese Coast Guard again, the force said in a statement, adding it had strengthened patrols in the area. The incident comes as Taipei urged Beijing to immediately release a fishing boat carrying 2 Taiwanese and 3 Indonesians seized by the Chinese Coast Guard close to Taiwan's outlying Kinmen Islands. The boat, suspected of illegal fishing off the coast of Guangxi in China's Fujian province, was inspected and detained on Tuesday, according to a Chinese Coast Guard spokesman. But Taiwan's fisheries agency insisted that the area where the incident took place was a traditional fishing ground for both sides. China claims self-ruled democratic Taiwan as part of its territory and has not renounced the use of force to bring the island under its control. It has ramped up pressure on Taiwan in recent years and conducted military drills around the island days after the May 20 integration of new Taiwanese leader Lai Ching-te. Taiwan's defense ministry said Thursday it had detected 30 Chinese warplanes and 8 naval vessels around the island in the 24-hour period ending at 6 a.m. In February, the capsizing of a Chinese fishing boat while it was being pursued by Taiwan's Coast Guard further strained relations after a survivor reportedly said the boat was rammed. Taiwan said its Coast Guard was following legitimate procedures after the Chinese vessel entered prohibited waters. And just in, President Ferdinand Bongo Marcos Jr. has greenlighted plans for the purchase of multi-role fighter aircraft as part of the government's thrust towards bolstering external defense capabilities. However, there are no final decisions on details such as the type of MRF and how many of them will be purchased, according to Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief General Romel Runner Jr. There is still no final decision on what MRFs we are going to buy, but definitely the President has already approved the intention to buy MRFs, Runner said in the press briefing in Camp Aguinaldo on Thursday. We saw the capability of our FA-50 jet fighters, but they're still not enough to protect our country, so we need to get more of these jet fighters and multi-role fighters, Brothers said. And that is it for koolNews at 4 p.m. As always, you can send a news tip to us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with koolNews at 6 p.m. with DJ San, Dreamcar, and Aspire, if any of them are available, and koolNews Primetime at 9 p.m. tonight. Until then, I am Aspire, and this has been koolNews at 4 p.m. Goodbye for now.